Good morning, everyone. Welcome inside the Cave Coaches Preview this year here on 96.5 The Cave, inside the Cave Weekend Edition. And we are live at Clark's Corner, Hometown Pizza. Jeff Bowman, Fred Smith, we're going to be with you for the next few hours talking some high school football with the local county coaches. And we're running a little bit late. Sorry about that. We had some Wi-Fi issues out here, but we're going to just jump right into it as our first coach of the day is Coach Greg Dolson from Tecumseh. Coach, welcome in.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me. It's a great day. Thanks, Ian, for getting us off the ground there, buddy.
And you beat the rain, so we're in here already. Now it's pouring outside, but week one in the books. I know you had a busy summer, too, with 7-on-7s and that, so what does that give you as far as getting prepared for the season? How much stock do you take in some of that 7-on-7, or is it just really kind of maybe just getting guys some reps more than anything?
For us, I'm not a big 7-on-7 guy just because I feel like a lot of times it creates some bad habits, especially for the quarterback. More times than not, especially in the world we live in with Chance, we're asking them to pull the ball down and run. And when you're out in 7-on-7, you pull the ball down and run, the defense celebrates and they've done their job. And I'm like,
Right.
Okay, well, in real life, you still got to tackle this kid.
Right.
So we like the summer because it allows us to get things in prior to August. And so we try to do a really good job of using those days that we got from the state to get our stuff in so that when we get to August, we're not behind the power curve. And then when we get into August, it's just kind of review for us in terms of what we're doing and what we're installing and fine-tuning. We get into a lot more indie situations to where we're just critiquing the techniques, things like that. So to answer your question, I'm not a 7-on-7 guy. Al's not a 7-on-7 guy. We're not fans of it at all. It's something you have to do, so to speak.
Yeah, because I'm with that on some of the, when you look at guys that are T teams and things like that, I don't, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's for some of these spread and wide open, it does give them some, but I'm not a big fan of it either.
No, and I'll tell you, if you're a social media guy, 7-on-7's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Getting way out of hand. These kids and what they're doing and the coaches and, we work with guys that we know and trust. We only go to certain guys and certain teams that we trust and we know we're going to get a good look, compete, but we're not going to get involved. And we did go to the Goose Poop thing in Chelsea this year. We won't go back. Nothing against Chelsea, and it was a fantastically run tournament. It's just not our cup of tea.
Right.
And we won't go back. So we're just going to keep sticking with guys that we trust and can work with.
Well, you mentioned Chance Gormley, your quarterback
Yep.
this year, and got some experience last year, and probably ready to hit the ground running this year compared to where he was last year.
Yeah, he's way ahead of where he was last year. He's now he's in a spot where we're kind of giving him more of the playbook. He's identifying numbers a little bit better and where he should be going with the ball. Understands why he should be going there with the ball. He hasn't made a lot of mistakes in the summertime, but he's a kid. His forte is he wants to get out in space and run, and then run with some physicality when he does it. So I think the thing for us last year, we kind of knew what we had when we were at Divine Child. I think we threw the ball 30, 40 times just because we knew we couldn't run the ball really well, and we were throwing the ball all over the place. And Chance took some shots in that game and kept popping up. And I think he earned a lot of people's respect. You're a sophomore going in there on the road at Divine Child, and you're getting stuck. And kept popping up, and we walked away from that going, okay, we got something here. So we're excited for him.
Well, you start, with Airport, then Pinckney. You get right into it after that with Lincoln, Chelsea, Jackson, Adrian in the league. But talk a little bit about, we talk about Chance a little bit, but you did lose some guys last year. So you got some guys that are playing probably different and more important roles this year. Talk a little bit about, who you're expecting or hoping to step up big for you.
Yeah, I think we graduated 22 seniors.
Wow.
That was a big number for us. Many of those kids were 3 years guys, Rocco Williams, Connor Bollinger, guys like that. And now there's some guys that got to step up, Gabe Abbott, Sam Abbott, Ben Andrews, kids like that. Braden Bowers is a kid that I love, adore. He started at quarterback for us last year, wasn't working out. Never complained about it, just went into his new spot. He's kind of an H-back tight end for us, plays defensive end. Fantastic leader. Cruz Torres, 3-year guy who's going to move back inside to the mic. Another senior, Kyle Cook, is a kid that played a lot for us last year in different spots. So, we only have 9 seniors. We got 25, 26 juniors. So there's a lot of young guys that got to come up and play. But a lot of those kids, Cameron Loudermilk, played a lot last year. So, we started the year this year talking to the kids about, you can't replicate Team 2025. You got to write your own chapter. And this is an opportunity for a lot of the younger guys to start that process. And the summer's been pretty good. We're in a position now in a program that, we've had everything in, and we've been doing the same things for 5, 6, 7 years all the way down. So, our kids are pretty accustomed to how we want to play, the language we talk, what we're doing. So there's not a big transition. I think the transition really is, I tell people this all the time. I think your junior year of football is the most challenging football year for you. Freshman, you're playing same kid, same age. Sophomore, same thing. Now as a junior, you're coming in, the game's faster. You're playing kids that might be 1, 2 years older than you, a little bit stronger than you, and how quickly can you adapt to that. So we're kind of looking for some guys that can do that real quick because we're going to need it because Airport's going to be tough. Pinckney always gives us a problem, and then you got Lincoln. So, our first 3-4 games are no gimmies for sure.
Coach, I got to tell you, this is Fred Smith talking. I saw you against Airport with your great team. I don't know if you remember that. And
2022.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yep.
You guys were phenomenal that night. But they historically have a great program, right? And scheduling means everything now. You hate to say you get to schedule 2 games, and that's a tough opener. I mean, whose idea was that? Well, it was yours.
Airport approached us a couple years ago, and it's a good fit for us.
It is.
Demographically, geographically. They're the same division for us, and you're right. And we kind of had this conversation off the air. You're chasing points.
Yeah.
You're up from some points, and for us, Airport. I think Adrian and Matt, they're the same size, and then Pinckney and Madison are a little bit smaller than us. But after that, everybody's bigger than us. Right. We're playing Taylor, who's a Division I team, so you're looking at double points there. He's bigger than us, So you're chasing points in that world, and then now they're finally going to seed out the region. Right. Which, if you go back to that 2022 team, we're 9-0. We score the second most points in the state of Michigan. And we win a district game, and we got to go on the road,
right.
To play a 10-0 Riverview team. And had they done that, we probably would have been the 2 seed and been able to host throughout the time. So I'm glad the state adjusted the way they did. I still don't think it's perfect, but they did make an adjustment, and I hope it works out for us this year in terms of the schedule.
Coach, even the 26 juniors, your participation over there is excellent. Does it go all the way? How do you plan your program 9 through 12?
So you got to get a guy like Ryan Moorhead. And if you know anything about youth sports or know sports, you know who Ryan Moorhead is. And Ryan is the head of our youth football program. He also was in charge of our flag. I was just telling Ian here today, we're having to turn people away for flag and youth football because we don't have the coaches to support it. I think we're at 65 right now for our 5th, 6th grade tackle. We're about 150 for our flag.
That's awesome.
Our middle school is 30 kids apiece. So for us, I think the biggest thing that we did early on was Ryan and I got a hold of the youth football. We transitioned into flag football. We play flag football K6. We play on the field on Wednesdays or Thursday nights. We give everybody their weekends off, let the kids come in and play. We got a lot of parental support in terms of coaching those levels. And that just transitions. One of the first things I said to the youth guys when I got here is, you guys might win with 10. I won't be able to.
Right.
So if you just play the same 10, you give the kid to the biggest kid the ball, it's not going to work for us. And over the years, the varsity program, high school, we've been near around 100 every single year. This year we're down a little bit for a lot of different reasons. That's frustrating, but we're typically around 100. Yep.
Well, what that does, the way you're doing it's letting kids learn to love football.
Yeah, I'm not a big I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion when I say it, but I see, until I start seeing guys in the NFL and college football tell me how purposeful it was for them to play tackle football in 3rd and 4th grade, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But until that point comes, I just say let the kids, let them play, let them enjoy it, let them want to play tackle football.
Yes, exactly,
and then when their body's capable of doing it in middle school, okay, let's cut them loose. But I don't see any point in letting a third grader run around with a helmet on, looking like a bobblehead, and they're like, hey, I don't want this to happen. So we transitioned to flag football, and like I said, our numbers, Ryan told me the other day, he's like, Coach, I got to shut it off. He goes, we don't have the field capacity or the people to do it, and so that's a good thing for us.
Yeah. Well, Coach, again, it's going to be a fun year starting off with Airport, and we'll have you week 2, and then we've got you also against Jackson for homecoming. Then we finish it off with Madison. So we've got you 3 times on the Cave, and then you'll have the traditional Adrian Tecumseh game on WLEN. So it's going to be a fun year for Tecumseh Indian football.
Yeah, we're hoping so. We got to stay away from the injury bug, but I told the kids yesterday I've been proud of what they've done in the summer. This is a team that works. They grind. We haven't had any drama. They just been coming in with their head down. So we're excited.
Yeah. All right. Well, once again, that's Coach Greg Dolson from